go see if there's some new stuff. Nope, gone. And it probably hasn't been long enough to get a new key. Lucky key. I think you have to do it like different hours or different days. Yeah, come back later. Okay. Well then, since we can't do any of that, let's go do the other dungeon that I made. Which took me quite a while. Two or three sessions of like a couple hours to work on. The Elemental Wizard's Palace. Wizards plural, I'm not sure if I got that right, I don't know. 1 hour. I don't think it's going to take that long, but we're going to try that. Also, what's the completions? 2 completions. Okay. How many attempts were successful? 2, 18%. Okay. So a lot of people have tried. 1 person liked it. 9 failures. So people died a lot, I guess? I don't know. Anyway, let's take a look at it so you can see what it's like. I quite enjoy making, like, each room at a time. Because it, like, I like the feel of, like, what this thing how this thing connects to something else. Also, we have got these red and blue switches that we can switch between here to get that to roll all the way down. Get rid of the enemies for us. And we've got these enemies here, which we're supposed to actually, like, pay attention to them. And also, the pots in the room as well is a good thing to pay attention to as well. Just in advance. I already know the answers to the things, but like, counting the enemies is a thing we need to be aware of. So over here we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And here's 7 slimes. And 5 slimes, which is supposed to help keep track of things. And then there's just the big one. I feel like I did a bad job of indicating things though. That might just be me overthinking it, so I don't know. I really shouldn't have fought those enemies again, but it's fine. Get that heart. And move on. Get the feather. Gonna get some health as well. And we have a portal back to the beginning. I tried to make each, like, section have its own, like, color theme to it. So this way is the water area. Which I'm wondering what they're gonna do for, like, water in future updates, because you can't, like, change it for anything. Now, what was the thing? 7 and 5. And if you get it wrong, it spawns in enemies and chests to block the way. Oh my goodness, so many. I want to hit the other ones. So you can solve the puzzle, but you can also block off the way, which I thought was a cool way to do that. So let me do the correct thing then. Gotta really take my time on it. 7 and 5. There we go. That might be why people have failed this one so much. It's just because I made the worst puzzles of all time. It's fine there. Also want to get these tokens from the pots. And that does not spawn in a portal back, so you have to take this shape key back. We have to carry it, and it does actually have its own weight, so we have to be careful about these lily pads. Because the longer we stand on the lily pad, the more they sink. It's supposed to, like, catch on the edge there for you, but you can also, like, if you don't get it right, you have to go pick it up quickly. But that spawns in a portal, and we take this back. It's not set permanently, so it's only there as long as the square is set, so... But the way forward is also open to us. I could do some things early, but I'm just gonna forget about them and do them when you'd have to figure them out. Let's get the map, so we can see how big this place is. Got some rooms down below that we didn't get to. Some rooms here. And some rooms up above. See if we can take out these enemies for the tokens that they have. And we need 2 shape keys for this. A square and a circle. You can also have like multiple of the same throughout your dungeon, which is cool. There's like so many things you can do. Now which way do I need to go? I need to go right. And I need to remember to explore the room because I made it a little bit rude again and I made lots of enemies. So there's a fairy here if you just try to check everything in the room. But otherwise you have to fight this and the harder version of this on 4 hearts, which can be a little bit rough. I apologize. I need to make more indication there's stuff in the room. Or something. I put things in the skulls and the pots to make people check those, but I don't know how well that works. The small hints isn't enough, but I also want to give the fairy for free, is the thing. Also, this room kind of mirrors the room below it. In the last segment of the dungeon. But also everything's purple now, which I quite like. Oh my goodness. Alright, I can jump. I really should remember to do that. That's gonna make this boss a little bit easier, probably. If I remember I can jump. Ow. So yeah, this boss is probably not that bad if you remember you can jump. That's a really powerful item to give early on, considering everything else I put in here. I'm gonna even keep my fairy. Okay. Let's see what we have here. Do I grab the other thing now or do I do it later? We also got the fire rod. I'm gonna come back for the other thing. Just to take a little bit longer. Got a circle key. I'm gonna try and do things like how I imagine being done. Not that I might do it right, but it's fine. Put that in there, but now I have the fire rod. So we can go to the other side here. And light that up. Just gonna get through this room as quickly as possible so it's not too much of a problem. I can turn off all the switches. Just like that. Light those. Light those. Light those. Now we can make our way back. Carefully. Carefully. I do like the dropping bombs to make things spawn in. Got the triangle, which is also green to match the green side of the dungeon below. And the circle to match the other thing. And I had the red pots around, and red portals to match with things. I really wanted to go like full on like color segments for things. But anyway, let's light that up. And that up. For a green portal here. Just to be like different. And get a heart fragment. Now I forgot to do the other thing that I was gonna forget anyway. All according to plan. Let's go up to the next floor. And now we're in the sky. So we have a left path, again, which has got mud. And a right path, which has sky. We can make that jump, but we need a few more things before we can do that. We also need all 3 keys for this. But you probably want to get those last. Can light that though, which spawns in an extra teleporter. Back to the beginning. And if we remember what was on the upper floors, we can light things down here to match. So let's head back to the 2nd floor. Light these up. Get a key. And let's return to the top floor again. I like these transition floors very much. Just a little, adds a little something to it. Okay, so we have a key now. But we're still missing a thing. We can also have the power of boots now, so we can go across here. Do that. I think we've done everything we need the fire rod for. Just need a few other things. Completed. Also, these bats are going to be annoying. But it's fine, we got them. Also, we need to track the number of enemies in here as well. This room and the last room. Which is 4 and 6 bats. Also, this floor here, if we stand out too long, it's going to crack and fall. Also, I need to be careful not to hit that, because I'll reset the room and the enemies. Also, can't overstep these twice. Which can be a bad reason to have enemies around. There we go. Get the sailcloth. Which means we can go this way. And we have a key. From back when we went through the previous rooms, previous floors. Which is also good because once we get across here, we need another key. And the game gives us a compass here. Okay, so let me just take a moment to explain some things. Now that we've been here and we've got the compass, we need to go back to this room on the previous floor for a key. Because I try to make the rooms like kind of connect to each other. As a hint. Which is not extremely obvious, but I don't know, I like it. I should not be so down on myself. I like this dungeon. I like the things I made for it. It might be bad choices, but I appreciate it. Also, how do I get the other thing to appear? I forget. I think I need the bombs to make the other thing appear. So I still have to walk through this manually. That's fine. Let's go this way. Got my extra heart. It's also nice that the hearts don't disappear. Even if you've revealed them. There's the hint that we need a thing here. And the key matches the chest for the compass upstairs. So now we can go onward. We're getting through this. Okay, I really like rolling and jumping around. It's a lot of fun. Got another checkpoint. Just be safe. And let's go across here. Really don't have to worry about these flame bars for the most part. Except for when you're on the platforms, which is good. Nice. Nice. And now we have this boss. Also, the music changes depending on if you need, like, something to unlock by beating all the enemies in a room. But also, if the ending crystal thing is in the same room as that condition, I think it spawns... it does the boss music for the dungeon. Which I guess means you could also set the music differently if you have that item in the room. The ending crystal in the room. Like if you have multiple, maybe? But I don't know if it'll allow you to have multiple ending crystals in the dungeon. Which is probably a good thing, to be honest. But anyway, let's blow these up. Like that, to spawn another portal. And also these clouds up here mirror down below, but you can't see it. So you can just walk across these. Now, we have bombs, so we can go to these rooms. These rooms. That room. And these rooms. Some of them also interconnect, so I have to figure out which way I want to go. First off, I'm going to show like some of the puzzle things I set around. Now, do I remember some of the things? It's a good question. I forgot to point out some of the details as we went. But here's this room, which is supposed to like mirror this room and that room, just in a smaller space. The switches don't do anything, it's just there to like remind you. And then there's a heart there that we don't need. The sign's telling you about the enemies number. We're gonna get the shape keys last, once we have everything else. Blow that up. So this is where we need the code. So we're gonna just take out these enemies. They're supposed to be tied to something else, but I didn't tie them to anything, so it's fine. So what was the code? 4 enemies in the room below us. And then 6 in the room with the switches. You can also, like, mostly brute force the code, probably. And, like, reset it if you get the wrong ones. Like, so you can learn that way as well, instead of learning the code the way I set it up, but both ways work, and that's how it's designed, so. There's also less chests in here because there's less ways to mess this up. Should have tied another chest to one of those, but anyway. Now let me think. Where do I want to go? We can go downstairs now as well. Also, like how, like, once we have the sailcloth, we don't need to worry about using the boots as well. But let's go down here. I think I want to go this way to start, so I can look at the code. A little hint for the code, anyway. Because here we have pots times and enemies times. And this room is supposed to look a lot like the room over this side. It even looks like it on the map, so. It's got the arrow pointing to that room over there. And there's also a coin that we need to grab. So let's head to the other side now. I really hope the theming of this dungeon worked alright. I think it did. Okay, so what was the number? Pots on the left, which was 4 in the boss room. There's no reset switch to check that, so you'd have to be paying attention to that. Or just guess, which works. And then there was 2 boss enemies. 42. There we go. It's nice that you can use the copy and paste in the editor to get some things done. Just gonna spawn those chests in just because I can. And the enemies, I guess, as well. Okay, so now we can go down to the lower level, or we can go over there, which works as well. There's multiple ways to get to the things we can do. So let's just go this way because this won't take long. It's cool, like, retraversing level, like, rooms once you have more items to go through with. We can fall down this way. All the way to over here, which is like a miniature rooms that went through the first floor. And even connects to where we were on the first floor as well. So we could have actually used the teleporter to get back in here faster if we remembered to do that, but I didn't, so it's fine. Let's hit these pots. Green and blue. Get a heart crystal and a token. And this teleports us back up to the top floor. Now, where else do I need things? Back on the bottom floor. Go this way. Make sure we have the thing still in there so we can use that. The square key. And over here mirrors the top floor themes a little bit. Not exactly, but close enough. It also has the enemies that we find on those two sides. I didn't have anything for, like, the purple, though, but the purple was, like, a huge floor anyway. Did I even have, some in-between rooms? Yeah. So I didn't really need more than I already had, I think. Also, this room kind of mirrors the room next to as well. We can actually bomb this wall from the other side, but it's tricky to do. But that's a good pro way to, like, skip some stuff. But we did need to fight the enemies for some more of the tokens, which we now have. So I think we have everything now to go to the boss. We just need to get all the keys together. Which shouldn't be too hard now that we have all these portals open. I do like going overboard with the portals a little bit. So let's go get them all, which will take me a moment. I might have gone too overboard with things. But like, the thing I really love about this dungeon is how I started with like one room full of stuff. And that's like the stuff I used for the rest of the dungeon. And it worked out like perfectly. Like 30 coins, I think 2 regular keys. The key block, I only had 1 key block in the room. The starting room that I had to like figure out what I wanted to put in the dungeon. But where was I going with this? Oops, don't want to do that. I added some more along the way to make it thematic with like the different floors having their own coloured things. Which like... hopefully they're going to add more at some point, so you can have like all the different colours of things. Some colour options for different objects would be nice. I was going to hit this thing here just to make sure I can like change the checkpoint around. I don't know how the checkpoints work because I haven't died in a level recently. But there we go. So we can go across here. Another checkpoint. But I also want to like look at these 2 rooms on the side here. Because there's an invisible platform on both sides. This side has a fairy for 5 coins. Which we don't need because we already have one from earlier. And this way has an extra life crystal. Heart crystal. So there we go. Checkpoint, and let's go to the boss. Which is a little bit of everything. Also, this is a new boss enemy. Which shoots things at us. And floats around. If you have the ability to float and fly, like jump and fly, it's really good for something like this. You should probably make a dungeon where you don't have the ability to jump, but you have the ability to sail, and then have whirlwinds in the room with a boss. And maybe then you can get the ability to jump from that boss, maybe. Just like thinking out loud here. Future ideas. It's a tricky boss if you don't know how to fight this. It can be a tricky boss even if you do know how to fight it. And you just be reckless. Oh boy. Oh boy. Just gotta watch for the appearing animation thing. Oh boy. Doing a big burst. Come on, surely one of these is close. 2 big bursts. How much health? Oh my goodness. I also haven't put a stick in a dungeon yet, but I always have to like do a swordless dungeon to really make that worthwhile. I feel like that could also easily break, since it only... you can only use it once, or something like that, I think? I need to just try it out and see what it's like. There we go. Got the wind crystal. So that's my 4th dungeon? Did it in 15 minutes and 38 seconds. That was quick, a new world record. It does help to know what you're doing, so... it took many hours to make that. 1842 is not bad, though. But there we go, that's my dungeons that I've made recently. Oh, it actually tells us which ones we beat that I've uploaded. That's cool, like having that marker there for that. I should go beat the other ones, but probably not now because I've already done them and they're not that bad. I guess that won't take long. Considering they're my 1st and 2nd dungeons, they shouldn't take long at all. I gotta like play this a whole bunch. I'm addicted to this game. I could play this a whole bunch. I could lose my life to... what's it called? I forgot. My poor brain. I'm fried. Also, I was playing the boss music because the crystal's in this room, which I didn't notice the first time I made this. I should probably grab this just in case. Not that I need it, because if you stand in this doorway, you can't get hit by the enemy. I'm learning things. But like, I really don't know if I can do recording of me making a dungeon because it takes so long. I don't know. Like, I could do, like, small bits. But it'd be so hard to figure out how it would flow best. But, like, it's really, like, room to room in designing this stuff, so... Let's do the last one, just so I can have them all with the mark on them. You do have to, like, complete them in order to upload them as well. To indicate that it's possible. It's like Mario Maker in that aspect, I believe. I should also take some inspiration from some of the levels I've already made. For future things. But, like, making puzzles is really difficult for this. Because I'm not smart enough to make good puzzles for this game. But I can make some puzzles. And make people suffer trying to figure them out. But not because they're good puzzles, just because I can make them suffer for it. There are some much more, like, thought-out puzzles in this game, in the community. Which I probably couldn't figure out on my own. Take out the enemies. I do want to get the compass. I want to collect everything in the dungeon if I can. I need to make more floating platforms, I think. Also, depending on the theme, you can only get certain types of things. Because I was looking for the, like, fire things I set in this dungeon, like, coming out of the lava. But they don't have that in other themes, I don't think. Because I was hoping, like, maybe, like, a poison thing, but no, that doesn't exist. Like these fires. I think it's like a wall thing though, so I guess it wouldn't work like that. This game is really good and has a lot of potential for the future. It's already amazing, so I expect the... Oh my goodness, what I do. My mouse is clicking out of the window. It's fine. That's one reason I should have kept on full screen, but it's fine. Okay. Gotta be careful with this. There we go. Also, despite it being locked behind the thing of the enemies, there's no enemy music for this here room. I don't know what, like, ties it to that. There's so many things to learn. It's just gonna get more and more advanced as time goes on. This game's so good. I'm not gonna stop gushing about this game, by the way. I've lost so much time to it already that I'm gonna keep losing more time to it because it's so good. Do that. Remember to bomb the wall there. I can't believe I made this all in, like, recording because it would... It's not a long dungeon, but it took a bit. Regardless. You can learn a lot just by making, like, a short level there. This is really not that bad of a boss. But, like, it was my second dungeon. I was learning how things work. I wish you could, like... Oh, I probably can actually make the fire, like, fly as well. That's probably what you're supposed to do to make that work like that. Maybe? I'm not sure, I can't remember. 3 minutes, 1 second. New world record. Apparently the community's not been playing my level much, because otherwise the times would be very different. But there we go, that's all of those done now. Okay. Feeling good, but I don't think there's anything else I can do right now. On the top of my head. This game's so good. I'm not gonna stop gushing. I'm probably gonna do a lot of things off screen as well. Just like key game. Getting more rings and stuff. And I guess I'll be back when there's more updates for stuff, because that's probably just how it's gonna be. Is as they update, you know, add more stuff in, which is very constant. Like, by the time this goes up, there'll probably be more stuff for me to put into dungeons. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.